The most exciting new product coming out this year is called the Oculus Quest. So my background is in real-time computer graphics, which is the kind of technology you find in video games. So it's about 3D graphics, animation, engines and virtual environments. And so I came into VR about 5 years ago and kind of just got obsessed with it, both as a researcher and somebody working in my spare time. So in terms of research here, we do a lot of work with procedural animation. That's using AI to drive animation to make more realistic characters, and then how they then apply in virtual reality. And then in my spare time I work on apps and also as part of a company called Pixelica. The biggest app we've made so far is called Ocean Rift, which is an underwater safari park. Ocean Rift is a virtual reality application that takes you underwater, so you can swim with dolphins and sharks, whales, even prehistoric animals, so Pliosaurus, like the Loch Ness Monster for example. And the idea behind the app is it's a virtual safari park essentially, where you can just swim around and see and interact with these animals. I think it's one thing to read about a blue whale, you know, the largest animal that ever existed. It's another thing to see a documentary, but to actually be in VR underwater with them and see their absolute size and kind of hear the ocean and just be immersed in it, it's just a new form of learning and a new form of kind of experiencing something, and I think that shows the real power of virtual reality. So VR is still relatively young. It's only been around for about 5 years in its kind of consumer form, and it's in a form that doesn't make you ill, that kind of is a nice experience to have. There's been a lot of evolution over that time though. Headsets that I had 5 years ago are now just museum pieces, right? It advances so quickly. So we have now much better screens, much better sound. Originally we could only track where somebody was looking. Now we can track where they are in 3D space, so it's called positional tracking. We can track hands. We've also seen a lot of innovation on the mobile side. So it started as a mobile phone being a VR device, as the power of it. And the screen obviously and the computer. These days we can actually have the machine, the screen, the sound, everything just built into the headset. So things are becoming a lot more kind of easy and user-friendly. The Oculus Quest does a number of things that are kind of, they've been done before in VR but not together. So we've got, it's mobile to start with. It's called a standalone virtual reality headset. So everything is built into it. There's an on button, there's some volume buttons, but it's pretty much just plug and play. You've also got positional tracking, so it can track where it is in 3D space without any cameras or anything, so it's very easy to use. And then finally it can track your hands, and that's one of the key features to make VR very immersive. So when you put all those things together, mobile and positional tracking and hand tracking, you have a very kind of attractive device, both from a consumer point of view and also from a developer. Virtual reality is going to continue to advance. I think in the coming years we're going to see a lot more innovation in terms of using, knowing where the eye is looking, so pupil tracking. That's going to be very important, not just for user interfaces, to have new user interfaces based on where you're looking, but also allowing us to make more intelligent use of the computer inside these things. So we can concentrate its power on where somebody's looking, because that's how our vision works. We tend to see much clearer in the middle of our vision than the side. We can take advantage of that. There's also these devices, currently everything is completely in focus. In the coming years we're going to see devices where it can adjust its focus, which means if you look at something close, everything in the background blurs, and vice versa, which is going to just add another level of immersion and trick even more parts of the brain that it's seeing a new reality. We've got a lot of modules in this department, it's like AI for games for example, and programming, computer graphics, engine, virtual environment generation. So these are all kind of elements that are kind of related to virtual reality. And then in the third year we have what is called the dissertation project, where a student spends the whole year basically working on their own project. And virtual reality, we can kind of team them up with a lecturer like me, and we spend a year developing their prototype or their project. And that can really be the main thing on their CV when they leave. So it's a very interesting kind of important part of their third year.